There is an island where visitors have been killed for approaching, a cave so fragile humanity had to seal it off. Another island so overrun with venomous snakes that almost no one is permitted to set foot there. A mountain surrounded by enough secrecy to fuel decades of speculation, and a vault built in case civilization itself collapses. These places are real, and you are not allowed inside. Most of us assume Earth is fully mapped, fully accessible, and one overpriced plane ticket away. But there are still places where the answer is simply no, and the reasons range from deadly to deeply unsettling. We begin our journey off the coast of India, where a small piece of land called North Sentinel Island sits in total defiance of the modern world. This is one of the last places on Earth where uncontacted people still fiercely defend their isolation. The Sentinelese have lived here for thousands of years, largely untouched by the outside world, and every attempt to approach has been met with unmistakable hostility. In 1974, a National Geographic film crew attempting to document the island was greeted with a volley of arrows, one of which struck the director in the thigh. Even after the devastating 2004 tsunami, when helicopters flew overhead to check whether anyone had survived, a tribesman emerged from the beach and fired arrows at the aircraft, making their position perfectly clear. For years, officials and anthropologists experimented with cautious contact attempts, leaving coconuts, metal tools, and other gifts on the shoreline in hopes of building trust. The response ranged from wary curiosity to immediate hostility, and over time the message became impossible to misread. They wanted to be left alone. When an overzealous missionary illegally landed on the beach in 2018, hoping to convert the tribe, he didn't make it past the shoreline. The Indian government has since enforced a strict exclusion zone around the island, and that boundary exists for very good reason. The danger does not only run one direction. Because of their long isolation, the Sentinelese likely have little to no immunity to many common modern illnesses. A simple cold, flu, or accidental bacterial exposure could devastate the entire population. North Sentinel is one of the rare places where humanity has reluctantly accepted that curiosity has limits. Leaving the violent shores of the Indian Ocean behind, we find a much quieter, gentler kind of restriction hidden beneath the hills of southwestern France. In 1940, a group of teenagers following their dog down a narrow shaft stumbled into the Lascaux caves, inadvertently opening an extraordinary window into prehistoric human life. The walls were covered in brilliant, 17,000-year-old paintings of horses, stags, and bulls, preserved in near-perfect condition by the cave's stable microclimate. Naturally, humanity celebrated this monumental historical breakthrough by immediately trying to ruin it. Thousands of tourists flooded the caves daily, exhaling carbon dioxide and moisture into the fragile environment. Before long, black mold and invasive fungi began creeping across the walls, threatening artwork that had survived longer than most civilizations. Realizing they were slowly breathing history to death, officials permanently sealed the caves to the public. Today, visitors are directed to a highly detailed replica nearby, while the real masterpiece remains hidden in darkness, a quiet reminder that admiration and destruction have a surprisingly close relationship. If a fragile cave ecosystem feels a bit too delicate, our next destination corrects the course with a heavy dose of pure adrenaline. About 20 miles off the coast of Brazil lies a place known to the locals as Snake Island. When rising sea levels trapped a population of vipers on this isolated rock thousands of years ago, evolution took a particularly unfriendly turn. With no ground predators and a steady supply of migrating birds landing in the trees, the golden lancehead vipers multiplied until they dominated the terrain. To keep prey from escaping, their venom evolved to act with terrifying speed, destroying tissue almost immediately. Estimates suggest there may be roughly one highly venomous snake for every square meter of ground, turning any casual hike into a truly terrible life decision. The Brazilian government has banned civilian access, reserving the island for tightly controlled scientific expeditions and occasional lighthouse maintenance. Nature built a very clear no-entry sign. And while nature prefers fangs, governments tend to favor razor wire and unanswered questions. That brings us to the Ural Mountains. Mezhgorye is a closed Russian town sitting at the base of Mount Yamantau, and for decades it has attracted intense international speculation. Construction activity in the area ramped up during the Cold War, when secrecy around strategic military infrastructure was practically a national hobby. Satellite imagery has revealed extensive excavation and development around the mountain, suggesting a massive underground complex buried deep beneath the rock. What exactly is inside remains unclear. Russian officials have offered shifting explanations over the years: mining operations, storage facilities, routine infrastructure, but outside analysts have long suspected something far larger. One prevailing theory suggests the mountain may house a hardened continuity of government bunker, designed to keep leadership and critical command systems operational during nuclear conflict. Basically, a buried command center built for scenarios where the surface has become a very bad place to be. Whether that theory is accurate or wildly off base, one fact remains consistent: nobody without authorization is getting anywhere near it. You can't buy a ticket or request a tour, and no one seems especially interested in clarifying what sits beneath the mountain. Our final destination takes us to the frozen edge of the world, away from military secrecy and toward humanity's ultimate backup plan. Deep inside the permafrost of a remote Arctic island, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault stands as a quiet monument to both human foresight and low-level existential panic. This highly secure facility houses millions of seed samples from nearly every country on Earth, acting as a master backup drive for global agriculture in the event of nuclear war, asteroid impacts, catastrophic crop failure, or climate collapse. It exists because people with impressive credentials sat in a room and agreed that civilization might someday need a reset button. And this is not just a hypothetical insurance policy gathering frost in the Arctic. In 2015, seeds were actually withdrawn after war damaged a seed bank in Syria, making the vault exactly what it was built to be: a backup plan. Even this frozen fortress has faced complications. In recent years, unexpected permafrost melt caused water intrusion near the entrance tunnel, a deeply ironic problem for a structure designed to outlast catastrophe. This is not the kind of place you can book a guided tour through because curiosity struck on a Tuesday. Access is tightly restricted to authorized personnel, researchers, and the institutions responsible for the collections stored inside. Every seed vault deposit belongs to a country or organization, and the entire system depends on security, stability, and careful preservation. Letting the public wander through humanity's agricultural backup drive would be a deeply questionable management strategy. The vault's existence quietly admits something most of us prefer not to think about. Modern civilization feels permanent right up until it doesn't. Some of these places are dangerous, some are fragile, some are hiding things. But in an age where we can zoom across the planet from a phone screen, Earth still has doors marked "Do Not Enter." If you had one guaranteed, consequence-free pass into any place on this list, where are you going? The isolated beaches of North Sentinel? The sealed chambers beneath the mountain? Let me know in the comments. And if forbidden corners of the world are your thing, you can stick around by clicking that subscribe button. There are plenty more doors worth knocking on. Until next time, stay observant, stay curious, and maybe respect the warning signs.